Dear students, we are talking about the divisional organizational structures, and within that we have discussed the matrix and the mixed organizational structure, and now we are going to talk about various different other structures which exist beyond the type of structure that is covered under the matrix and mixed organizational structures. The first one in that domain is the heterarchy. Heterarchy, from its name, it is a combination of two words, heterogeneous and archy. So managing your organization in a heterogeneous way, which means that there is not a hierarchy, there is heterarchy in a heterogeneous way. So there are mixed type of structures existing in your organization and not a single hierarchical structure which is in one line. In a heterarchy, the multinational organization, it has different kinds of center apart from the headquarters. And why does that happen? That happens because it's not essential that a competitive advantage is available only in one country or only in the parent country. It is possible that when you are working on the global level, operating on the global level, where you have different competitive advantages in different areas. For example, किसी जगह पे आपको रॉ मटेरियल बहुत कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव मिलता है, किसी जगह पे आपको लेबर बहुत कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव मिलती है, कुछ एरियाज जो हैं वहाँ पे आपको टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसेस और R&D जहाँ पे बहुत अच्छी आपकी जो है वो आपको उसकी अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं. उसके अलावा इट इज़ पॉसिबल कि कुछ एरियाज में आपकी मार्केट बहुत जो है वो बड़ी है. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप इंडिया में काम कर रहे हैं या आप पाकिस्तान में काम कर रहे हैं और आप कंज्यूमर गुड्स में काम कर रहे हैं, तो यू हैव अ ह्यूज मार्केट. तो उसके लिए आपको दैट इज अ कंपेटिटिव एडवांटेज व्हिच इज नॉट प्रेजेंट इन, लेट्स से, अ स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्री और in Finland or in France, because वहाँ पे populations जो हैं वो बहुत कम है as compared to the India-Pakistan region. So that means that competitive advantage is not limited to one country, and therefore you may have different centers, power centers, which are driving your organization from various different forces. And your organization is not just being managed through the headquarters. In this particular type of structure, from HRM perspective, you have to adopt a normative system of control for rewards and punishment rather than a hierarchical setup. So you have got to go to a normative system. Normative system is one which operates on norms. और वहाँ पे किसी भी जगह पे वहाँ पे कल्चर क्या है, वहाँ की ज़रूरियात क्या है, वहाँ पे क्या करना चाहिए. Normative is that based on norms, what you should be doing rather than what your rules, policy and job description says. So that is a kind of system which is more flexible, which is more open, which is more organic. And in that you need to have a more normative system जो कि आपके norms और आपके culture और आपके tradition, आपकी organizational traditions के ऊपर बेस करता हो, बजाय इसके कि आपकी strict hierarchy के ऊपर बेस करता है. Because you are trying to tap particular competitive advantages from different places. So आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि नहीं, यहाँ पे जो मैनेजर है, जो पाकिस्तान में मैनेजर है, उसकी इतनी ही सैलरी होनी चाहिए जितनी कहीं पे जो है वो किसी छोटे बहुत लेस पॉपुलेटेड मुल्क में होनी चाहिए, because that person is looking after a very large population in a consumer market setup. So that has to vary accordingly. So normative system of rewards and punishment has to be established in that kind of a heterarchy. It demands skillful and experienced HR managers who can create this normative system of control and reward. It's not always easy to, if you have a set of system, written down rules and policies, written down system to follow, it's always easier to follow that. But if you are working on a more flexible, on a normative system in which you have to satisfy your employees as an HR manager why you are going for a certain way of controlling the rewards and punishment, you have to be a lot more skilled and experienced HR manager. All right, then another type of organizational structure is the transnational. Transnational is an advanced level of multinational organization. And transnational, when you call an organization a transnational organization, it means that it is operating on a global strategy and global philosophy of globalization. So it's not actually, you can't define the boundaries that this is a multinational and this is a transnational, but transnational is a different philosophy of looking at international functions and international business. In that, you actually inculcate in your organization the idea and the philosophy of being globally integrated and locally responsive. So a transnational combines the dimensions of being globally integrated and locally responsive. The transnational, it also recognizes the fact that resources and responsibilities are interdependent across national boundaries. So it's not necessary that what happens in Pakistan is totally independent of what happens in the neighboring countries, what happens in China or in Afghanistan or in India. It's interdependent on the national boundaries. And when you are working in an international context, you have to take into account all the resources which are available globally. You can't just say that the resources which are available in a particular domain, in a particular country, those need to be tapped. You need to look at you need to look at the entire world as a source of resource and responsibilities. And that is interdependent. And then finally, the third type of organization structure is the networked organization. Now, networked is also a same type of description as a heterarchy is, but in a heterarchy, you have a limited, centers of power, but you do have a very strong headquarters. But if you look at a networked organization, you can see that the headquarters, they are a part of a network, and there are nodal units and centers which exist in the boundaries of the corporate headquarters, and they are almost having the same kind of power and influence on the rest of the functions, on the rest of the areas of the organization. So the corporate headquarters is just named headquarters, but the power and the interdependence of the nodal units and centers, they have a huge influence on the networked organization.